Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal astrology forecast for Monday, January 17th through Sunday, January 23rd, 2022. All right, so this week we have essentially a full moon right at the beginning of the week here on Monday. It is going to be in Sidereal Cancer. So right off the bat at the beginning of the week, it's good to do a status check for the lunar month, how it's been the past 2 weeks. Maybe make some shifts and changes to further develop the energy. And in this case, Cancer, how can we bring in more of our protective side? Creating a protective environment for ourselves, but also others is a great way of working with this. Now, as we go through the week, then it is about implementing the insights and the shifts that we likely make around the full moon time period. On Tuesday, Mars, the planet of assertion and the masculine energy, is going over the galactic center, the transformation part of the sky. So likely a death and a rebirth of the fiery masculine side of ourselves personally and collectively. Uranus is also going station direct around this time on Tuesday as well. So anything that has been reworked the past 6 months roughly regarding visions, innovative things involving our future or future aspirations, technology, anything we're excited about even, starts to slowly move forward and gets implemented now for the next 6 months during that direct period. Now, the weekends here with Mars and the Sun changing signs around Friday. Mars will go into expansive Sagittarius, so any transformations with that masculine energy definitely starts to get more free-spirited. The Sun in Capricorn, good to focus on responsibilities. And at the very end of the week on Sunday, that Mercury retrograde we have will be passing over the Sun, which is usually some shifts in the halfway point of this Mercury retrograde. All right, so let's go and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here's the sky for this week. We're going to start first with Monday, January 17th. And as you can see here, we are using the visible sky on this channel, which is very different from mainstream astrology. So the signs are different. For example, the Sun still is in Sagittarius, but in mainstream they say it's in Capricorn. So if you are new, definitely check out that link down below for more information. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here at a quick recap to see where everything is astrologically coming into this week. So we do have the Sun finishing Sagittarius this week, and Venus is still retrograde here. So Sagittarius is that free-spirited nature. It has been a good time to expand our mental horizons and also sometimes our literal horizons as well. So still good for that. Now with Venus still retrograde, it's good to still reconsider our values. What do we enjoy in life? Possibly even some relationship stuff going through that. Again, reworking, rethinking, experimenting, trying different things, approaching things with our values and relationships in different ways is a great way of working with this Venus retrograde. Now, Mars is going to go into Sagittarius this week, but finishing up deep Ophiuchus and passing over that galactic center around Tuesday. So definitely coming into the week, there is still a bit of that deeper energy. In fact, there is some deeper energy going on this early part because the Sun is still very close to Pluto, the ruler of that Scorpio and Ophiuchus part of the sky. So definitely some transformation. So still good for that deep energy to get to the core of things within ourselves or within life. Mars is helping us do that. But there is an ending to this, a transformation of this, a death and a rebirth that often happens, which will likely feel around Tuesday regarding that masculine side of ourselves. Now, Mercury is in Capricorn, so our minds are definitely in the more grounded side of what we can achieve or accomplish or put hard work into. Anything that does involve mental or communicative energy that we can take time, patience, and work, put that into it. It's a great part of the cycle to do that. And with Mercury retrograde, just being flexible at the moment as things are changing, information is changing. And so we want to be as adaptive as possible. And just really, again, experiment during retrogrades is great because we learn new things. We approach things in a different way because if we're always moving forward and we don't ever take a different direction or take a step back, then we get to the destination maybe years later, decades later, and realize that that's not maybe exactly what we wanted, or maybe there's a better approach to it or different approach. So these retrogrades are good times to kind of take that step, that different perspective, take a step back, look at it from a different perspective, try some new things, maybe go back and re-edit some things, And so that's, of course, still good to do this week with Mercury retrograde. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look now at the aspects. Now, not a whole lot going on with the aspects this week, as you can see, but because of the sign changes that we have, again, mostly around Friday with Mars going into Sag, and then the Sun leaving Sag going into Capricorn, I still think it is a very important week, especially because, again, coming into the week, on Monday, we do have this full moon, the halfway point of the lunar cycle. So Monday, great to do this status check. How has this lunar cycle been going these past couple weeks? What are some shifts and changes we may want to make or start to incorporate with whatever new has come into your life these past couple weeks? I will, of course, make a separate video on this, but the theme is Cancer. The full moon will be right at the beginning of Cancer, opposite up to that Pluto, where the Sun is conjunct and trining Neptune. So with this, all in all, I think doing a status check with our protective side, how can we again create a safe and secure environment for ourselves and others, and get into that more personal, nurturing, caring, side of ourselves, and that's a great way of working with this next 2 weeks to implement some of this, because especially now with the Sun starting to go into Capricorn, there is a lot of that, again, more productive or achievement-oriented energy, and of course, what balances that out is the protective energy to check in with our bodies, with our health, with our personal life, home and family, these kinds of things. And it's just a good time to do a status check with that. And even in the context of the past 6 months, roughly 6 months ago, we had the new moon here in Cancer. So it is the halfway point of that as well in the solar cycle, in the yearly cycle. So how's that Cancer energy going? Maybe making some shifts and changes to start to apply it or readjust it in our lives. All right, and so then as we get into Tuesday, the moon will still be in Cancer. Again, good for that Cancerian energy, that protective energy. We do have Uranus starting to go station direct here, and Mars going over that galactic center. So this early part of the week, it's going to be good to let go, to allow to be released of that fiery energy. It's an interesting year because Mars is also going retrograde at the end of the year, so it's definitely a year of, I think, re-examining our needs, what it is we want, where we're putting our energy. And so in this context, though, the galactic center is the void energy. It's drawing in all the light, all the energy of the planet, let's say, as it passes over there. And so allowing the energies to die, to be released, quote unquote die. And that's the whole point of this, is that nothing really gets destroyed or actually dies. It gets transformed. But from our perspective, it may feel like a death of the ego, a death of our needs, who we are, what we want, our identity, and anything we've been putting our action into. So allowing that to be let go, allowing that to be released is what facilitates this transformation process. And so collectively, it's good to do that, to allow that to happen, taking that yin approach to the fiery stuff. And as a result, then there is that rebirth. Because when we are non-attached, when we have let go of the more surface level stuff or the things that we're doing for reasons that maybe we don't really want to do, by being more non-attached, we become aware of what it is we truly want and who we really are, quote unquote. But with Mars, where we can start to put our action and energy in a way that is much more true to us and just more true in general. And so it's definitely a rebirth of the independence, of the fiery, the active, the assertive, the confident side of ourselves, but it does require that transformation process there. So that's around Tuesday, the days surrounding Tuesday. Mars won't officially go into Sagittarius. Let me put it this way: Mars won't get officially closer to Sagittarius than Ophiuchus until about Friday. So allowing for that this week, for that kind of energy. Now with Uranus going direct, good to kind of pause with anything that involves technology, innovative stuff, anything we've been having a future vision about, but certainly noticing maybe this stuff's starting to move forward. If anything's been on the back burner these past 6 months roughly, involving your future visions, involving your excitements, things you've been seeing in the future or wanting or excited about, this is slowly starting to shift. And collectively, anything involving technology, innovative stuff, also starting to move forward, starting to shift. But do give it time, of course. And this isn't something we feel personally. It's definitely a more collective energy. But of course, this can apply in our lives. So just good to pause this week with anything on that level and notice that things are likely starting to move forward and shift and change. And really, it's just a good time to take anything we have learned or approached differently this past 6 months involving these future excitements or things that give us more freedom and excitement in our life. If we've approached it differently, learned some things, now starting to apply it in this new and different way, innovative way with Uranus. All right, and then the moon will start to go into Leo here for pretty much the whole bulk of the week from Wednesday all the way through Friday. So self-expression, again, starting to come out of that deeper energy as well, with the Mars over the galactic center, Sun over Pluto easing up as well. And so in this context, really good for self-expression with Leo, that playful, creative, lighthearted, comedic, fun-loving side of ourself. Very good. And anything involving this kind of stuff, self-expression and whatnot, very good to do. Doing what we love, doing what's close to our heart, and expressing ourselves. Now, as we do get to the Friday time, that's where, again, Mars will be shifting signs, roughly around there, and the Sun will be shifting signs going into Capricorn. And so our focus for the next at least few weeks, almost a month, will be on how we can take time with things and really see things in the long term, right? And this is, again, where Mercury already is. So we're already likely thinking this way, maybe putting in some of these responsibilities or achievement energies or working energies into mental or communicative things. At least it's still good to do that. But now maybe we're approaching it in a different way. Maybe we're, again, doing some things differently with the retrograde, and that's good. But nonetheless, great time to continue, let's say, to focus on productivity, achievement, accomplishment, or just things that we know will take time. This doesn't always mean career and this kind of thing. It could be personal life stuff, personal development, anything that does require patience and perseverance, right? It's the time of the year to develop that patience and perseverance and responsibility and discipline. So anything in that context is fantastic. All right, and adding to the Earth energy for the weekend, the moon will be in Virgo over the weekend as well. And so a good weekend for improvement, fixing things, finding solutions, taking care of things, doing the work perhaps, right? Anything that does involve that improvement nature is great. And this is us starting to get into the third quarter phase of the lunar cycle, meaning that it is good to start to maybe take some action towards that full moon insight from Monday as we get into next week. And Virgo's a great way of challenging ourselves to do that, to fix, improve, find solutions. Anything like that is great. And the week closes off with that Mercury retrograde passing over the Sun. And so this is marking the almost, but for, not time-wise, but in the transit-wise, the halfway point of the Mercury retrograde. And so seeing that maybe there are some shifts of insights, that whatever it is we're reworking right now or approaching differently with the retrograde may shift, may come to awareness and insight. Mercury will be very close to the Earth at this time, highlighting, emphasizing Mercurial energy, mental energy, communicative energy perhaps. But of course, it is drowned out by the Sun. And so just being, extra aware of that, being aware of what we're thinking, mindfulness, being aware of what we're communicating as well, can help balance out any extremes with it. Because again, this is fiery energy with the Sun, tends to drown out the Mercury. So we want to make sure that we are mindful of that and not doing anything maybe automatically or unconsciously with that stuff. But with that awareness, great time of shifts of insight for sure during this Mercury retrograde. All right, everyone. So that is the week in a nutshell. Most important thing I would say is full moon, heightened energy coming into the week, heightened energy of the lunar month, some insights, some new perspectives, especially during the Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, a lot getting reworked this month, but this insight, right, and maybe starting to implement that throughout the week. We do have transformative energy with Mars passing over that deep galactic center here the early to middle part of the week, which will lead into a more transformed energy and free-spirited energy towards the end of the week there. Maybe some things moving forward with innovative or things that we want for our excitement, slowly with Uranus going direct. And over the week end, Friday, some sign changes. Mars more free-spirited, the Sun going into more grounded, long-term Capricorn, those responsibilities, and maybe some shifts of insights around the Sundays, halfway point of that Mercury retrograde. All right, so everyone have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click the like button if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you aren't yet signed up for MTZ Insiders, it is a free newsletter where you do get these videos released first before YouTube. Plus, you get to be part of the network and the community there and extra content not normally released there. So do check that out if you haven't yet. But have a great week, everyone. Thank you again for watching and all of your support. And I'll see you all next week for the next astrology forecast. Take care.